You know, sometimes when we talk about our achievements, people think we brag, and while we don't brag, we just talk about us, the champions. Yeah, so when we talk about us, the champions, people think we brag and we don't. So I just want to say for the Baviaanspoort, we are so lucky and privileged to have Masandawana. We are not bragging. Why I'm saying we are so lucky? We are the 8 times champions. 8. I know they say don't count it before it came, the chickens. But we are the 8 times. So I'm sorry to Mapagabaga. I know you have tried to run behind us, but so yeah, so it is not bragging, but we are the 7 times champions, PSL champions in a row, 14 times champions. So now, Baviaanspoort, when I'm saying you are so lucky and privileged, there's other correctional services out there, other teams from PSL, they visited those services, but I wonder what did they tell them, what did they teach them? I'm just talking like facts. I saw Coach Paulo, our academy. Where's Coach Paulo? Coach Paulo, let's clap for Coach Paulo. Coach Paulo, yeah, he's our academy head. From the age 6 years, he started preparing those kids. Abo Koza, so Abo Mkulisi, from our academy, Abo Mabena, they come from that man. So that's why I'm saying let's clap for him, because of we plan, and when we plan ahead. Oh, by the way, let me not forget the son of the soil, Dr. Motsepe. Yesterday, he was also becoming another term for the KEF president. Let's clap for him. It shows that in South Africa we are growing of it. In South Africa we take football serious. Hence we can see the success of the son of the soil. But let me not talk about it, but at least we have to acknowledge it. But back to Masandawana. As I've said, for the champions, we are also privileged for that profit. We are here to also bring the soccer clinics for them. So whatever that we are going to teach them or show them, it means they will be the next champions. Whenever they are going out, it shows they will be having the correct skill of football. You can see by Masandawana. That's what I don't know. We understand this football. Alright. Yeah. But it's not too late, my friend. It's not too late. Masandawana will still have forms with what you can. Because you can't always be head. Come and be happy. Come and join us. I'll give you the phone number when I leave so that I can give you the forms to join Masandawana. Before a waste of time, my friend, I will invite the one and only, the coach Steve, who always, remember the month of February, we were like taxi drivers, 4 months like sun. That was the month of February, 4 months like sun. So, yeah. So, Machida, the grand. Show. And show you one. We'll invite Mr. Mati just to come and welcome us. He's the regional commissioner. So let's clap for him while he's coming, the regional commissioner.
Good morning, Dumelang, Molweni, Program Director, and ladies and gentlemen, our stakeholders and honored guests. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this launch of the training program here in our own facility, Baviaanspoort Management Area. It is really a significant day for us as the Mamelodi area and the region in particular. But allow me, Program Director, to greet and welcome our National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Mr. Motovating. Also to greet and welcome the chairperson of Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club, Mr. Motsepe. Greet and welcome the FIFA Foundation CEO of this twinning project, Mr. Hilton Fruit, Paul Cardoso, Head Academy of Mamelodi Sundowns, and I cannot welcome without also welcoming our legend, Tlhopie Moloto, the football legends that are here, ladies and gentlemen, our CDC, Mayor Moela. I've seen the South African police colleagues around us, media houses that are present here, our offenders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to welcome you to our innovative twinning project, a groundbreaking partnership between the Gauteng region and Mamelodi Sundowns soccer team. Today we embark on a remarkable journey of rehabilitation and reintegration of our juveniles into society through the power of sports. This project is closely aligned with our mission to provide a second chance to those who have made mistakes and to help them become productive members of our community. The twinning project has already shown remarkable success in other parts of within the department with unique approach to rehabilitation through sports. We are excited to welcome this initiative to our region and to work closely with Mamelodi Sundowns team to make a positive impact to the lives of our young people who are our offenders. To our partners, Mamelodi Sundowns, we express our deepest gratitude for your commitment to this project. Your dedication to using sports as a tool of social change is truly inspiring, and we look forward to working together to achieve our goals. Program Director, allow me to invite you as we work together to create a brighter future for our youth. Let us use this project as a catalyst for positive change. And let us show our young people that we believe in them and that we are committed to helping them to succeed. Thank you, and let us begin this exciting journey together. Through this program, we'll be able to see behavioral change of our offenders, life skills development, prepare offenders for their release and reintegration into society. So they will be able to improve their self-esteem and their confidence. Let us work together to empower, educate, and inspire a positive change. With that being said, allow me to welcome you and let the launch begin. I thank you. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Maybe just to add, on our side we have the legends. Maybe let me just acknowledge him to say so that they can see what we have. The shortest one, Jack in Kana, Daniel Mabuch Mudao, the forever strike of Mamelodi Sundowns. Can we just we also have the Rock, Temba Boni, the Rock. Who are you? Yebo Machita. Really, the young one, Robert John, the current players, Johannes, Lebza, Motiva also. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think it's okay? Okay. That's a hard act to follow, but I'm going to try. National Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I think in reflecting back to what the coach has shared with us, something stood out in my mind immediately, and that was the quote that he referred to made by Nelson Mandela. And I think the quote went something like, we should never judge a nation by how we treat its highest citizens, but we should judge a nation by how we treat our lowest citizens. In most nations, incarcerated individuals are really the bottom of that ladder. And I think we should be proud of ourselves here today for what we as organisations, correctional services, football clubs are doing. One of FIFA's big mantras is that football unites the world. And I'm delighted to be here today as CEO of the Twinning Project and representing the FIFA Foundation in sunny South Africa with my valuable partners, Mamelodi Sundowns and Correctional Services South Africa. Sport has the power to change lives. Sport has the power to create safer communities. It has the power to improve our mental and physical health. But what we're doing here and what this partnership is all about is far more valuable. We're offering hope, we're offering education, we're offering upskilling, where hope, upskilling and education may not previously have existed, to those serving custodial sentences, to those in custody. And the Twinning Project is a catalyst for change amongst this societal demographic. Men, women and children who without the Twinning Project would be more likely to return to a life of crime upon release and far less likely to engage in pro-social and productive community behaviour. If we do not work with these young men while we have the opportunity, if you'll excuse the terrible pun, while we have a captive audience, we cannot expect them to be different young men when we release them back into our societies. And that is what the mantra, and that is what the raison d'etre of the Twinning Project is all about. But even though we firmly believe in that, getting it done is difficult. And that's why I'm so fortunate as the Chief Executive of a global charity to be supported by the FIFA Foundation. Without the FIFA Foundation's enthusiasm and interest in what I do at a global level, I wouldn't be here today and we wouldn't be engaging in this process. It's FIFA's enthusiasm and support for the Twinning Project and for the power of football that allows me to bring the Twinning Project here to South Africa. So thanks have to go to the President of FIFA, Mr. Gianni Infantino, the Executive Chairman of the FIFA Foundation, Mr. Maurizio Macri, the Head of the FIFA Foundation, Mrs. Mariana Banush, and finally someone you may have heard of, and that's the former Vice Chairman of the English FA and former owner of Arsenal Football Club. His name is David Dean. I stand here before you today carrying out the vision of David Dean. It was his vision, it was his plan to create the Twinning Project, to create an entity that would allow football to provide opportunity to those serving custodial sentences and to deliver the meaningful impact that we're able to do. If you'll humour me for just a few seconds, I'll share with you the origins of the Twinning Project. We only founded the Twinning Project in October of 2018. I come from England, so we founded it in England, and we thought we set ourselves an ambitious target. We wanted to work with 20 of England's 92 professional football teams inside the first year. Inside the first year, we worked with over 32, and as of now, we've worked with 73 of the 92 football clubs in England and Wales. And I've worked with some of the biggest football clubs in the world. I've worked with Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, but I've worked with some of the smaller clubs in England too, like Plymouth Argyle, Exeter City, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United. Some of us were. 7 years later, the Twinning Project is perhaps the most robust and innovative sports-based criminal justice intervention ever undertaken, and not just in the UK, globally. Over 4,000 men, women, and children have completed a twinning project course on 4 continents. So what you guys are doing today is joining a global community of individuals where sport is giving back. The twinning project some of the clubs we work with in Europe, in England, but we work with Roma in Italy, we work with the Romanian Football Federation, working here today with Mamelodi Sundowns in the USA, with some of the biggest MLS teams, FC Cincinnati, NYCFC, DC United, in Australia with Melbourne City and the Western Sydney Wanderers. We're delivering this project at scale and with much success. All this is really quite impressive when you consider the challenging nature of the demographic that we work with. People serving custodial sentences tend to come from challenging backgrounds, tend to have been resistant to education, but nobody's resistant to the power of sport and the power of sporting brands. Everything we do, we measure. Before I took this project across the globe, I needed to be secure in the fact that was working. So in England, I work with Oxford University. Oxford University is one of the global, predominantly profound global universities that measure anthropological and human identity. And some of the outcomes that have come out of the project in the UK and around the world on the benefits of what this project will do, and Coach mentioned some of them, but I'll give you some academic background to that. What we'll see is you'll definitely be fitter at the end of the program. Your mental and physical well-being will be improved. I would be surprised if you didn't have decreases in your level of anxiety. You'll have improved relationships with each other and the prison officers that you work with, the people here at Correctional Services. I think once you've completed this program, once you re-enter society, football will have given you the skills and tools you need in order to make a pro-social and productive contribution back into society. Football has the power to change lives, but we shouldn't discount the fact that without the football brands, we wouldn't be able to do this project. It's very important that we thank and demonstrate gratitude to teams like Mamelodi Sundowns, who bring their brand, who bring their coaches, who bring their legends into these correctional facilities to demonstrate, as Coach said, they have not given up on you. We have not given up on you. Don't give up on yourselves. Embrace this opportunity for what it is, and it will really turn your lives around. So finally, I'd just like to thank everybody for having me here today. It's always lovely to return to South Africa. And I'd like to thank you for understanding that, you know, everybody makes a bad choice in life. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody is a bad person. I started with a quote, so I'll finish with a quote. And it's a quote by the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who wisely advised us that we should never look down on anybody unless we're helping them up. Thank you very much.
So without wasting more time, we'll welcome our National Commissioner for Correctional Services, Mr. Tubachal. But the boys, Mr. Tubachal, they say they were.
Tlhopie mtlhalo wa mogolo ntate Tlhopie e be ke bola ena ke bona moshate wa moloto kwena e kgolo moshate. Those that did not hear me, let me interpret for myself. I started first by respecting we call him Moela, Tate Tlhopie. He represents the chieftaincy from my village. I was born in Vernaching, but my roots are in a village called Moela. Our chief there is Khoshi Khalwa. So, if I don't do that, by the end of business today, some leaf from a tree will be in front of our gate and we will have to pack and go. So that is basically the roots of Africa. And if we all know, Africa is basically where the roots of the world are. Let me also then do likewise and observe protocol, but normally when an event has gone to such an extent, I normally express that I stand by the protocols of the day, because they would have been mentioned so many times. But because today we are with the champions, let me start first by congratulating Dr. Motsepe for continuing to fly the flag of Africa in the world, because once you occupy such a position, you don't occupy it for South Africa, you don't occupy it for Africa, you occupy it for the world. So we congratulate him. We always root for our own as South Africa into Africa and the world. We celebrated last night in our little corners the victory of South Africa and the victory of Africa. Club Chairman Tlhopie, we welcome you. We acknowledge your presence. We also acknowledge the presence of the director, who I was not sure whether he's now directing the event of my office, but thank you very much for that. And then the other executives from Sundowns, Coach, thank you for gracing this event, and the legends. We grew up looking up to the legends. And what is very instructive about sports and specifically soccer legends and legends from Sundowns is that they contributed to the liberation of this country. In the years that we were still under apartheid, there was little to look up to. This country was practically carried by traditional leadership, it was carried by the churches, it was carried by the arts and craft industry, and it was carried by sports and literally soccer, in the sense that it is a sport that actually dominated the lives of those that were oppressed, black South Africans. Also be inclusive at the same time. So it's a sport that continues to make impact even in the world. We know that if anything that borders on not respecting human rights rears its head in soccer or anywhere else, soccer is the first, or football is the first, sporting code to react and correct. So we're grateful to be associated with the work that is done in football. Well, we have Mr. Friend, who's, for us, is more a part of the family, and he's fathering, as he goes on, because if it was not of you, we would not be here. We thrive on partnerships, we go out, but we can only get to some extent in terms of the partnerships that we build, because we depend on our resources. You did not come just to partner with us as the twinning project. You are bringing other partners. So we welcome the extension of the partnership, and we always look forward to you coming and introducing new partners as we go. But today, what you have done is to introduce the champions. So, I'm sure those who do not share that view, they share another view that says that their hearts are pumping very fast. But sometimes walk into the room, there's no way you can be afraid. You are not sure whether you're going to end up with 3 points or not, So we are very grateful to share in the partnership and also in the association with Sundowns. The regional commissioner is here, Mr. Matiba. We also have Chief Deputy Commissioner who is responsible for incarceration and corrections, Ms. Moela. Her branch is actually responsible for those that are sentenced. So when you are sentenced, you walk into the facilities that are under her branch. Well, just on a lighter note, there's a song that was saying here that I sat down when it was saying. Now, I didn't know that it was going to be saying now when I was supposed to come and speak here. A number to us is something else, as correctional services. But as someone who is always thinking on the side of innovation and change, maybe we need to debate because there is a number in our environment which is associated with gangs. Okay, but the question is, are there not supposed to be numbers that are associated with structured, well-to-do or good meaning programs? Now that took me to the quotes that were mentioned here about former President Nelson Mandela, who was also incarcerated. We all know the famous number. I don't want to risk by asking someone here that they don't know that number. 4664. Now, that number is associated with positiveness. So, me thinking in my transformative way, I will then accept the song in the context of it being a positive number associated with champions and a number that draws its history from the inspiration of Dr. Nelson Mandela. So that's now, from me as the National Commissioner, the understanding of that song. I felt able to thank you. There are a number of speeches that were given, that were rendered here, from the welcome to the leadership that spoke before me. I also have a responsibility to give a speech, but I also have a responsibility to ensure that this program doesn't get delayed by my presence and me speaking here. So I don't speak for the sake of speaking, by the way. I speak because I have a responsibility to do so. Me standing here is also providing approval at the highest authority of administration in this department to this program. So I'm not going to read my speech, I'm going to interpret it to you. Because I have bosses also who write the speeches. They don't sleep, they write them. Whether I don't read them, they get upset with me, but they can't do anything about it because they can't fire me. This is a third installment of the training project. We focus on different categories of the offenders that we have in our correctional facilities. So we have juvenile, the youth, and that's what the third installment is focusing on. We have the women, we have, we have male, but also we have our own officials that needs to be trained for them to be able to render rehabilitation programs, including participation in sports or sporting activities. So the third leg has a significance in the sense that it targets young people. And what for me is profound is that it has a long-lasting effect in the sense that the impact is going to be felt throughout their adult life. We go by the dictum that says corrections is a societal responsibility. In the past 4 years, what we have done with the work that we do in correctional services is to project it into the society so we can get the society also projecting into what we do inside the walls. So the main objective is to utilize these walls to facilitate development and progress between those that are inside and those that are outside. So for us, this project has also more to do with what these young people will do when they are outside our facilities. Because from here, they will be reintegrated back into the society, and when they get there, they will impart the knowledge. So they will have a skill that they can take to restart a relationship with the localities where they come from. Without Coach, you spoke about teaching young people to get between the sheets, and I got worried. But I hope that you clarified this between the sheets thing. There's what we call pick-up lines in the initiation of any relationship, even in business. Now, when you are supposed to enter the society, re-enter the society as a parolee, you need to have pick-up lines, because the community will be looking up to you. First, they will be checking as to whether you are really a changed person. You are no longer going to be posing that danger that you posed to them. You are no longer going to be disrupting their lives as you did. You are no longer going to make them feel pain as you did. You are no longer going to inflict pain to yourself as you did. But beyond that, they are going to start looking at how you can contribute to development and growth in the locality. So you must have a pick-up line. You must be able to say as a young person, when I was at Baviaanspoort, I went through this program. And hopefully you will also recruit for Sundowns. But I'm just saying, that the pick-up lines are important in initiating any relationship. If you don't have them, you don't have a basis to relate. To those who don't know how to initiate other relationships, I've just given you a tip. You must have a pick-up line. So it is important for us to recognize the fact that the twinning project will give us that impetus in terms of ensuring that our young people, when they go back to their communities, they play a meaningful role, as I've explained. Well, there was also an input about how participating in sport builds the character of a person. But for me, what is important is the discipline that goes with it. We are a discipline-grounded environment. Everything we do has to go according to plan. So even this event, there was a plan, step by step and all that. And that's how we make it a point that we structure the lives of those that are in our care. Now, to be associated with a brand of champions that is also grounded on discipline, for us is what we call in the security environment a force multiplier. Because we can only get, as I have indicated, that far. But because of the injection and the investment that we are going to get from the twinning project and specifically from Sundowns, we are going to be multiplied to get further. Our offenders, I normally say this, every day when they wake up, they interact with a person in uniform, brown uniform. Before they get locked up and they sleep, they interact with a person wearing brown uniform. If anything happens to them in the middle of the night, whether they have a headache or they don't feel well or whatever eventuality that happens, they interact with the person wearing uniform in different capacities, whether he's a security official, a social worker, a psychologist, a health professional. I normally say even those that want to be priests, they can come here, we'll teach them how to be priests, because we have a very strong team of spiritual workers or spiritual experts. Now, the brown uniform to them means life. But the brown uniform without other brands and uniforms, like for instance our colleagues from SATS, means limited life. So with you joining us and being part of us in injecting life to our offenders, you are actually, as I've said, strengthening our hand. This facility is a state-of-the-art facility. We want to keep it that way. One of the reasons why we pride ourselves with this facility is that it's a zero contraband facility. So these young people that you see, that you are going to interact with, do not engage in smoking this and smoking that, and we want to keep it that way. And for us to be able to continue to sustain that is if they continue to interact and visualize themselves at the level that as Sundowns, as the twinning project you are taking us to. I did indicate to the chairman that we are taking it a higher notch, we're taking it higher than how we've been doing the business in correctional services. So we are already in the partnership. This is day one. There's no turning back. And because we are associated with the champions, we are already guaranteed of a win. So I want to extend the gratitude that we have for this program. Mr. Friend, again, you know our doors are always open, but now we now have Sundowns with us, so as I've indicated, it's a higher notch. I'm actually happy with the speeches that were given today, so that's why what I did was not to give a speech, but to interpret. This association with the Premier Soccer League and Premier Soccer League clubs, for me, presents a problem. And that's why now I'm more into running marathons, you know, because I know you don't have, a number of many teams and competitions and what, you just run. When I was choosing what to wear to come to this occasion, I asked myself, what must I wear? So I wore this, what you see here. It's a t-shirt that we produce every year. We have a marathon in Drakenstein in the Western Cape, where former President Nelson Mandela was incarcerated at some point. So every year we run 27 kilometers, we walk, we run 10 kilometers and then we walk 5 kilometers, 2.5. And it's a marathon that is open to members of the public, young people, old and all that. We do it with partners, and I made the right choice by wearing this because almost all the speakers that spoke before me, they quoted former President Nelson Mandela. So I'm inviting you, those who can make it, we'll send invitations next day, let's go and run. In any way, for you to be a good soccer player, you must be able to run. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
National Commissioner, our motto at Mamelodi Sundowns is the sky's the limit. Our motto at Mamelodi Sundowns is the sky is the limit. So normally when you point somebody like this, is a disrespect. So you have maybe to say this. So when we point the sky, we have to use maybe 2 fingers or some. So we can't use this one. So we chose to use this one. So, because if we do like this, it will receive. So when we point the sky, we couldn't say like this because it shows disrespect because there's one and only there above. So we use this finger. So we can take this number 7 to 4664. So this number now is no longer the number for the negative. So our brothers, they can learn from us now to say this number is for the good people. Because when you see this this song, it says, Impia Masandawana. Who's the champion? Masandawana. At the field of play. So it's a positive one. But we'll have, I like what National Commission said, we'll have a debate and talk about it. And also we'll have a chance because, as Chair said, it's not our first and last now. We'll keep on visiting. Thank you very much. Maybe for a vote of thanks, we would like to invite Ms. Moela, our Chief Deputy Commissioner. Please come and for vote of thanks. I see our brothers are already ready. They just want to warm up the pitch now, but we'll get them there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me first start by acknowledging our National Commissioner. Greetings to National Commissioner, greetings to Chairman, and greetings to the CEO from FIFA. And let me stand on the established protocol to say greetings to everyone. My role here is to thank everyone who is here. Because if we don't thank you, you won't come back again. You know the word thank you, when we grow up, that is one of the magic words to say thank you. So I am here, and just to indicate a program director that we are privileged as the Department of Correctional Services to work together with the champions in one of our mandates, which is critical. That is the mandate of rehabilitating offenders. So that is our mandate of incarceration, rehabilitation, and reintegration. So as we are all here today, we are here to ensure that our offenders are being rehabilitated, and will also ensure that they go back home being effectively rehabilitated and they will be reintegrated successfully. So let me not waste time, and let me first start by thanking the program director, because usually you appreciate everyone and forget to appreciate what the program director did, because he did such a sterling work to show that the program runs effectively for today. Let me also appreciate our pastor, Motovating, for having blessed this occasion today, because without the presence of the Lord, this wouldn't happen, as this is the day that the Lord has made. Thank you very much, Motovating. And the Regional Commissioner from Gauteng and his executive management would also like to thank you very much for welcoming us and welcoming everyone here to have this successful event. Let me then appreciate Coach Komphela. When I saw that a coach is going to speak on a lighter note, I wanted to get an Oxford dictionary, because I thought, hey, Coach Komphela is going to speak, so let me get the dictionary. But Coach, thank you very much, and I think you have raised a very important issue of treatment of youth in our facilities, because that is really what we are doing as the department to ensure that our youth in all our centers are being rehabilitated, and we need to ensure that they go out of our facilities being different people. And you have highlighted that change is painful, but it is beneficial. So our offenders here, they have really taken that and will ensure that they are being rehabilitated. To our CEO, Mr. Hilton, thank you very much for coming here from so far, and you have indicated that football unites the world, so we really appreciate, and this clearly shows and confirms what you have just said, that the power of football is very important. So this is where we are here, because of the power of football. So as Commissioner indicated, that corrections is a societal responsibility. We wouldn't be able to rehabilitate offenders without having partnered with yourselves. Thank you very much. To our chairman, Tlhopie, Motsepe, thank you very much. We are very privileged to have yourself here today, and I think everyone is really excited to meet you here today, and we appreciate the opportunity. We appreciate having brought all the legends from Mamelodi Sundowns to come here. You know, sometimes we see them on TV, so today we really appreciate because we are seeing them physically. Thank you very much, Chairperson. To our National Commissioner, Commissioner, thank you very much, and thank you for approving that we have this event here. I just want to share with you the significance of this session, the way Commissioner is so passionate about sports. You know, we were reorganizing the department in terms of our structure. And we had this directorate that is sports, recreation, arts and culture. So whilst we were busy reorganizing, we were saying, hey, we don't need a standalone directorate of SREC, we call it SREC, which is sports, recreation, arts and culture. We wanted to merge it with skills development and education to be one directorate. So unfortunately, that didn't pass. Commissioner said there is no way that we can have as sports, recreation, arts and culture be merged with other directorates. So he said we need to have one directorate that is specifically focusing on the sports, recreation, arts and culture. Can we give Commissioner a round of applause? Commissioner, thank you very much for approving this event, and thank you very much for your leadership. Let me also thank offenders in their absence. I think they are very eager to go and start them, but we wouldn't have the session without them. So if they were not part of us and they were also not willing to be rehabilitated, we wouldn't have the session, because as much as everyone would come and say, we are bringing this to the department, but soccer, football needs to be played by people, so if they were not willing, we wouldn't be here today. So we also want to appreciate our offenders for opening their hearts and ensuring that they are going to be rehabilitated and they will go out of these facilities being rehabilitated and being different people. To our stakeholders, as you can see, we are not working alone within the justice cluster. We do have officials from South African Police Service, because as the JCPS cluster, that is the Justice Crime Security cluster, we work with partners. That is also part of corrections as a social societal responsibility. So to our officials from SAPS and everyone who is here who are partners, because I won't be able to mention all of them one by one, but I just want to say to all our partners, to all stakeholders, to our officials from SAPS, thank you very much for availing yourselves. Then to our communication team and also the media houses, thank you very much for being here, because we like to work with media houses because that's part of marketing, and that's part, as the department, that is also part of us showing communities out there.